there are definitely some dangerous rabbis out here on YouTube. Learn from my lesson. Don't poke the hornet's nest as I did.
Feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game.
So I want to share just a word of advice in this video about staying away from just the negative bickering between people, especially staying away from a lot of the negative conversations that happen between rabbinic feuds. So I'm saying this because I recently poked the hornet's nest and regretted it. And basically what happened was that so there's this rabbi that I happen to have subscribed to his channel. I only watched 2 of his videos where I actually really liked what he had to say and I thought he was kind of interesting, so I subscribed. He's not a rabbi that I watch regularly, and that's that. So anyway, on my YouTube feed the other day, I saw him mention the name of a rabbi who happens to bother me quite a bit. It's a rabbi I used to watch, and then as he started to kind of go a little bit off the derech, calling out the names of other rabbis and saying they were terrible people for all various sorts of reasons, and I just happened to fully disagree with him because he was naming quite a lot of rabbis that I happen to have watched a good bit of their content and very much disagreed. So that being said, I've just steered clear of all of his stuff and have been watching him gain a lot of traction, especially here on YouTube, along with another rabbi, and both of them just kind of, I just think, stir up a lot of negativity in the community, and I've seen a lot of their followers just be really angsty, and it really saddens me because a lot of these folks are Bali Tshuva who, you know, have their heart in the right place and are very much have so much potential for goodness, and I think they're being steered in a pretty negative direction. So anyway, that being said, it did pique my interest and I clicked on the video, and I should have just stopped right there. That's my first little tip. Like, if anyone is calling out a topic that stirs up some negative emotions for you, steer clear of it. I definitely fell into my Yetzer Hara and I clicked on it because I was pretty curious to see just what the latest buzz is about this particular rabbi, because there's plenty of people who are against him. So right there, I shouldn't have even clicked into it, but I was curious and I watched the video. So in the video, I happened to agree again with this rabbi's particular comments and points he was making, and I then went ahead and commented saying that I first of all agreed with the subject matter, which was him basically talking about how this other rabbi is charging quite a bit of money for conversions, and he is speaking out against that practice, which I happen to wholeheartedly agree with. You know, I think just reasonable administrative and mikveh fees, reasonable fees for tutoring, I think that's all good and well, but actually charging for the service of a conversion, I think, is a sham, and I don't think that financial reasons should ever keep anybody from conversion. So I happen to agree with that point, and I commented that, and I also commented that I was sorry to hear that this rabbi whose video it was happened to be the latest sort of target of this other rabbi's slander. And I said that because I've seen this rabbi be very, very vicious. It just really bothers me. So, and I also thought that the rabbi in this video actually did a really great job of defending himself without stooping to the level of also slandering back. So that's, in effect what I wrote in the comment. And after I, left YouTube, did other stuff, whatever, I felt a little bit like, first of all, I felt like a little icky from even poking my head into that whole conversation because it's just negative, stuff. And then I also felt kind of like, should I have even commented? And I kind of regretted it a little bit, but I left it. And there was one other comment. So another person in the thread had called the rabbi, not the rabbi whose video it was, but the rabbi he was talking about. Sorry, I'm not using names. And if you happen to know or can figure out who I'm talking about, please do not write the names in the comments. That would be totally antithetical to the purpose of this video. Just please keep that to yourself. So anyway, someone kind of made fun of the rabbi in another comment. And I actually flipped around, went on the other side and defended the rabbi who bothers me and said, there's no need to call him a name, basically. And I had a little back and forth with this person, and that was that. So anyway, I don't know how I just got so wrapped into the comments of this video. I had some back and forth with people, and essentially one particular person called me out saying, that the rabbi whose video this was not such a good guy either, that he had also made fun of the rabbi that bothers me, and that, he wasn't so perfect either, basically. And, I couldn't really speak up to that because like I said, haven't really watched this man's videos much. Like, I don't follow him. I don't follow his teaching. So I don't really know what else he may or may not have said. So it's entirely possible that he might have said something, slandering the other rabbi. So at that point, I kind of retracted, what I said and said, like, if that is the case, then I don't stand by that kind of slandering either. Like, it goes both ways. It would equally bother me if either rabbi said anything bad about the other, because I have no skin in the game. I don't follow either of these rabbis. What simply bothered me was just to see these like rabbinic feuds just boiling up, and there's just so many of them nowadays. It really bothers me. So anyway, I had some back and forths and kind of tried to clear up what I was saying, that like I'm not good with it either way. I'm not trying to defend this particular rabbi, and again, that might not have even been true. Like, that person in the comment might have been slandering the rabbi she was talking about. So, all of it was just a messy conversation. And in the end, like, I feel like I got to the right place with like the people I was going back and forth with in the comments. But the fact that I was having any back and forth at all was just already like, oh, like, how did I even get into this? And I eventually ended up deleting my comments. Ultimately, if you had seen the thread, like, I'm not ashamed of anything I said or anything. I totally stand by everything I commented. I was merely, defending the idea that being charged a lot of money for conversions, that's not okay, which I stand by. I was also just speaking against the idea of one rabbi slandering another, which I absolutely stand by. So it goes both ways. And if anyone saw the history of that thread or happened to screenshot it or whatever, like, I'm totally fine with what, I put out in the world. But at the end of the day, I just didn't want to be like caught up in this messy conversation, which I definitely regretted even getting into, just for my own sake, because it's just negative stuff that really wasn't very productive ultimately. And I was trying to be productive. I was trying to kind of come to someone's defense. Even the rabbi that I don't like, I didn't like to see him being called a name either. Like, that bothered me as well. So I feel like there's no room for mean-spirited behavior. And the thing that I constantly see the defendants of this particular rabbi say all the time is they always say, like, no, he's not speaking Lashon Hara. What he's doing is warning people about the evils of these other rabbis. He's warning people, and he's doing a good service, and it's coming all from a place of holiness, and so on and so forth. So I see that oftentimes, and I just, I don't buy it when you start using names, when you start making fun of people. There's no way you can convince me that that's a service to anybody, and that that's not coming just from a place of being mean-spirited. You can absolutely be productive and warn people and have an opinion and actually speak out against someone in a way that's also dignified, in a way that doesn't stoop down to a level of just being cruel or mean and just, being mean. There's just no place for that. So that was what I thought that the rabbi who posted the video I was commenting on. I thought he did a good job of not being mean in his video. But again, apparently there may have been an instance or so where he has been, mean-spirited or basically made fun of this other rabbi as well. So if that's the case, like, I'm not, defending the man for that behavior. I'm just not good with it, no matter who does it. So anyway, point being, I just realized, like, it's just a messy conversation, and I decided to just kind of take myself out of it, and just lesson learned. I should just like follow my instinct. It was definitely one of those stupid Yetzer Hara moments where I was purely curious. I wanted to see what the latest buzz was about this very controversial rabbinic figure, and now I've learned, like, it's just a messy scene, and I don't want any part of it. So that's just my little fair warning to you guys. If you do happen to spend a lot of time here on YouTube, as I do, just watching different rabbis and such, be forewarned. There are some bad apples, and obviously everyone should decide for themselves who they sort of follow and believe in and all that stuff. But there's no place in Torah for just mean-spirited, cruel behavior of making fun of anyone. Like, the second that anybody makes fun of another human being, like, that is not coming from any justifiable place. There's just no way they can possibly convince me that that's acceptable behavior. It's not warning anyone. It's just going an extra step and bringing your ego into the mix. So I think that's a good way to just figure out who's sort of giving an appropriate warning versus who, the people who are taking it to a place that's just not very beneficial. So that's basically what I wanted to say. Like, there are definitely some dangerous rabbis out here on YouTube. Please be careful and steer clear of them, and use that as a sign. If you see someone actually slandering, actually, putting someone down, disparaging someone, rather than speaking against their ideologies, their beliefs, their theology, everyone should have an opinion. So not speaking Lashon Hara shouldn't be confused with just like, shutting your mouth and having no opinion. You should absolutely stand up for what you believe in. You should absolutely, have a say in how you feel that Judaism should be expressed. I think that's a healthy, a healthy debate, a healthy conversation. So I don't think that, we should be shutting ourselves off from that kind of discourse. But there's a very, very crystal clear difference when it comes to having an opinion and being productive in your conversations versus just being mean. And that's what I had to say. So I just wanted to share that, and hope you guys steer clear of that kind of negativity and learn from my lesson. Don't poke the hornet's nest as I did. And that's all I got. So anyway, thanks for sticking with me. I will see you guys later. Shalom Aleichem.
Won't stop till I get it. Speed it up when I'm winning. It's silver and undefined, period, no sin. Still tryna give me the fix. Get treasure in heaven, generation with them. I pass the baton on my kids. Had to make sacrifices for this. I can fake, had to cut out some friends. Vision late ever since the beginning. Go get the bad, then bring it.